Welcome to the first part of our new mini-series about plastic pollution and microplastics. From the depths of the oceans to the air we breathe, our planet is facing an insidious threat: microplastics. These tiny particles, often invisible to the naked eye, have infiltrated every corner of our world. And their impact is only beginning to be understood. Today we delve into the unseen impact of microplastics on human health and marine life. Join us as we journey to understand the features of this pollutant and its far-reaching consequences. Stay tuned as we uncover 7 surprising ways these tiny particles affect our world. Number 1. Microplastics in our food and water. Imagine a world where the water we drink and the food we eat harbor a hidden danger: microplastic pollution. These minuscule fragments, less than 5 millimeters in length, have become ubiquitous in our environment. They permeate our water sources, from oceans to freshwater rivers and lakes. Microplastics infiltrate our food chain, accumulating in the fish we consume and even the salt we sprinkle on our meals. Picture a busy fish market, the air thick with the smell of the ocean's bounty. Unseen, microplastics lurk within the very flesh of the fish on display. Studies have shown that microplastics are present even in bottled water. These particles can leach from plastic packaging, making their way into the very liquids we consume. The consequences of ingesting microplastics are still being fully unraveled, but early research paints a concerning picture. Number 2. Reproductive harm in marine life. Beneath the waves, a silent crisis is unfolding. Microplastics are wreaking havoc on marine life, particularly their ability to reproduce. Imagine a coral reef, once vibrant and teeming with life, now struggling to sustain itself. Microplastics, mistaken for food by marine creatures, accumulate within their bodies. For filter feeders like oysters and mussels, this poses a significant threat. These organisms ingest vast quantities of water, filtering out plankton and other small organisms. However, this filtering system also traps microplastics, leading to a buildup within their tissues. Studies have shown that exposure to microplastics can impair reproductive success in oysters. Fish too are ingesting microplastics, and the consequences are equally concerning. Whales, dolphins, and seals are now contending with the added burden of microplastics. These animals are exposed to microplastics through their prey, potentially impacting the health of their offspring. The widespread presence of microplastics in our oceans poses a significant threat to the future of marine life. Number 3. Microplastics as carriers of pathogens. Imagine a vast ocean, its surface shimmering under the sun. Beneath the waves, a hidden danger lurks, one that threatens not only marine life but also human health. Microplastics have become a ubiquitous presence in our oceans, acting as rafts for harmful pathogens. These minuscule particles provide the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms. Like tiny Trojan horses, they transport these pathogens across vast distances. These particles, often ingested by marine organisms, can introduce harmful bacteria into the food chain. The potential for disease outbreaks is a growing concern. Microplastics can absorb other pollutants present in the water, creating a toxic cocktail. Number 4. Endocrine disruption in humans. Within our own bodies, a silent and insidious threat is emerging, linked to the presence of microplastics. These tiny particles have the potential to disrupt our endocrine systems, the delicate network of glands that produce hormones. Microplastics, now pervasive in our air, water, and food chain, have infiltrated our bodies. These particles, often coated with harmful chemicals like BPA, can leach into our systems, mimicking the action of hormones. This endocrine disruption can manifest in a myriad of ways, from developmental problems in children to reproductive issues in adults. Studies have linked early exposure to endocrine disruptors to a range of issues, including obesity and early puberty. We must act now to reduce our reliance on single-use plastics and support policies that limit the use of harmful chemicals in plastic production. Our health and the health of future generations depends on it. Number 5. Impact on the food chain. From plankton to whales, the ocean's life is a delicate web. Microplastics threaten this balance, infiltrating every level. Phytoplankton, the base of the food web, ingest microplastics. Small fish eat these contaminated plankton, Microplastics accumulate in fish tissues, moving up the food chain. Dolphins consume fish and squid, ingesting microplastics. Toxins from microplastics can poison dolphins, weakening their immune systems. Number 6. Coral reef degradation. Beneath the ocean's surface lies a world of vibrant color and teeming life, the coral reefs. These underwater cities are home to a quarter of all marine species. But these vital ecosystems face threats, with microplastics being a significant contributor. Microplastics disrupt the delicate balance carried by currents from distant shores. These tiny particles can block coral polyps' mouths, preventing them from feeding. They also exacerbate the impact of rising ocean temperatures. As corals die, their structures crumble, leaving a barren wasteland. The future of coral reefs and countless species hangs in the balance. Number 7. Long-term health effects of microplastics. As we delve deeper into the world of microplastics, we enter a realm of uncertainty. These tiny particles, now ubiquitous in our environment and our bodies, represent a grand, long-term, unplanned experiment. As previously mentioned, studies on marine life have provided some clues, revealing the potential for these particles to disrupt endocrine systems and cause oxidative stress. Consider a pregnant woman, her body nurturing a developing fetus. She is exposed to microplastics through the air she breathes, the food she eats, and the water she drinks. These particles can cross the placental barrier, entering the fetal environment. The long-term consequences of this early exposure are unknown, but research suggests a potential link to developmental issues. We must prioritize research into this emerging threat, investing in studies that investigate the long-term consequences of microplastic exposure. Only through a deeper understanding of the risks can we develop effective strategies to mitigate this threat. Thank you for watching the first part of our Plastic Pollution and Microplastics mini-series. We've journeyed together into the unseen world of these tiny particles, uncovering their pervasive presence in our environment and the potential threat they pose to both marine life and human health. The journey ahead may seem daunting, but it is not one we take alone. By spreading awareness, we empower ourselves and others to make informed choices that can turn the tide against plastic pollution. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will explore more about the impact of plastic pollution and potential solutions. Together, we can make a difference, one microplastic at a time. Let's leave it better than you found it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content.